Welcome to a new video. Today I will be covering new flight's new Dutt pack and Israel because that's what caught my attention today. For the Dutt pack, I just wanted to cover. Everyone's saying it's super expensive. Like I've seen some people saying that they're paying like $70 for the 3.5 or an eighth, or some people are paying like $90 for the disposables. I so that really just means that they're like bumping the prices up crazy. But said the regular 3.5 would be $40, which is like kind of a lot, but some are more expensive than that, and maybe as good as good. And I don't know. I think this is for the wholesale. It said you can buy like a pound for 1,000. So I don't really know how that math adds up. I don't know how much of a discount that is, but you can get that. And then a little dispo, like a cart, $30, which I've seen some people paying like 80 for it, which is just up in the prices, which is pretty bad. But where like I think the danger comes in of like a person like Flight having his own company is the strength of it, because like the bud is like 35 THC and then the CBD is 0.1, which is strong as hell. He said, even he's like, hey, this ain't for the new guy, but there's gonna be like some middle school somewhere, someone's gonna be passing around the Flight dispo, some little kids, and then some kid gonna get smacked with 91% THC with 0% CBD. That shit gonna fuck you up. Like that's like what got me really worried about them, is like, man, like that's gonna fuck some little kids up. Like that's not good. People need to watch their kids more, but it's not really Flight's fault, but it's gonna happen. And yeah, it was a great idea for Flight. Like his whole community, he's like a streamer and video creator. So all his dudes that watch him probably just be chilling, already tapping the cart, and now his whole fan base can be like, "Oh, I'm tapping Flight while watching Flight." So now like that's just guaranteed money for him. And then you tap the pen, you're gonna want to watch more videos. You watch more Flight, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I want the Flight cart." So it's just boom, 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 guaranteed money. It's a great idea. And I was watching some YouTube reviews because I can't get it because it's only in LA. So, not in LA, I'm in Northern California. So, like 6 hours away. And can't get it. But so I watched some YouTube reviews on it, and this one Asian dude, he tried like all three flavors. He said all very, very good. So if I could get my hands on those, I will be happy. And yeah, the other thing I was interested in today is I've always been interested in the Israel and Palestine, when they always say, "Oh, I was here first," or "I was here first." So I actually wanted to look into it and be like, "Oh, who was actually there first?" Be like, they both have like long land claims to the land, so I was just like, "Huh, what's going on over there?" And yeah, the Palestinians, they've been there for like a millennium, and Israel, or the Zionists, or the Jews, um, they didn't really like get their hands on the land until they had the idea. It was during World War One. I came across this randomly. I was just it like popped in my head like probably a couple weeks ago. I was watching like a World War I video, and they just randomly like had like a 5 minute segment on this, and then I was like, oh, so I looked way more into it. But how the Zionists or the Jews or the Hebrews, uh, whatever you want to call them, they get called several different things when you're researching it. But there was a thing called the Sykes-Picot Agreement in 1916, which was made by Sykes and Picot. And Sykes was a British aristocrat, diplomatic, whatever guy, lawmaker. And Picot was like basically the same thing for France. And they made a deal. Russia like okayed it because the whole like it was like the Ottoman Empire, all their land, which is basically like modern day Middle East. But Russia just okayed it because it would be right next to them. But so they made a deal with a bunch of the Arabs where they'd be like, hey, if you help fight us beat the Ottomans, then we'll give you all this land. But then they made a secret agreement where UK and France would actually just split the land, and so it'd be just like divided in half. But Israel would go to the Zionists or the Jews, and Sykes stated that having a Jewish homeland in Israel would be a strength for the UK, which is like, what does that say about the UK? It's like, oh, who really runs the UK? And here's a quote here from 1941, which is about 25 years later, but about the same time. Democracy is now currently defined in Europe as a country run by Jews, said by Ezra Pound. And when I was looking up a lot of these things, it just said all these things were anti-Semitic, but I don't really know how like any of this is. It's just stating things that happened. But yeah, so Sykes wanted a Jewish homeland because he said it would strengthen the UK. Why would that strengthen the UK? And like that said, it's ran by Jews in Europe countries. Like if you look at all the countries, it's just banking. It's like they're not always in the politicians, but like I said in a other video, one former Congress guy in the US, and we're pretty locked down on like our government things, and I feel like we're more locked down than other countries. So if it's happening in our country, I'm not going to assume it's not happening in other countries. But what one Congress guy said was it's $100,000 to bring like a bill to the House, like not to like actually get signed through, not actually vote for it. Just like, hey, here's a bill. How does everybody feel about it? Do we want it? And it's $750K to try and get it voted onto the floor, or I don't know if you voted onto the floor. I don't know, but to get it onto the floor, it's $750K to do all the steps to do that. And if you want somebody to go all out, like balls to the wall, this is going to get passed. I'm going to make everyone else work to pass it. We're all going to get it done. It's like 3 million to 5 million. So, it's like who runs the banks? Who got all the money? It literally was said in 1916 about the UK. It's pretty much ran by the same people. France, they're making that deal, pretty much ran by the same people. World War II, Germany was ran by the same people. They tried to do something about it. It wasn't a good thing to do about it. There's different ways to go about it. You shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have let a methed out maniac take the helm of that. Maybe someone else, but definitely the wrong guy got put in that position. But, yeah. And skipping a lot of the history, so then. So 1916, the agreement was made where Israel was a place for Zionists or Jews. And then obviously in 1948, Europe, what happened, the horrible thing that happened. And 1948, all the Zionists or Jews were moved to Israel, which the Arabs were already very unhappy because they got screwed over. And then one of their enemies, like by religious, like the Holy Land is shared by Muslims, Christians, and Jews, so it's like, why would they get it when we were already there thing? And so they were pissed that they were moving even more of those people in. And then there's not total factual evidence to this one, but there was a conspiracy called the 8-year plan, where all the countries outside of Israel that were kind of threatening it, because it's like they're all Muslim countries, so they can all work together, but only one Jewish country. Who are they going to work with? Who's going to help them? So like USA got put in a position where, or a lot of countries got put in a position where we were just giving them money out of like, hey, they're like, they just need to be protected. So they got the Iron Dome. I don't know exactly what year that got put in, but that was like a big thing. And they pay for a bunch of their defenses because like we kind of have to because of the position they're in. So because of the position they're in, there's a thing called the 8-year plan. Now, obviously, Israel has had a bunch of wars in between 1948 and 2001. A lot of conflicts with Palestine, a lot of conflicts with the other countries around them, but I'm going to skip all that because that could be a whole nother video. And the 8-year plan was basically a plan by Israel and America to overthrow all the hostile countries and maybe not put like democratic leaders in, but put more favorable, less gonna attack Israel leaders in. And some of it backfired, and some of it worked. I didn't go super into detail into this, but I just got the years down here. So there were, I forget how many countries there were, but the first country on the plan that happened, it was originally 8 years. It was called the 8-year plan, but it became like the 20-year plan. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but it ended up being way longer than they thought. But the first country, Afghanistan, we went in there 2001. We were in there for like a while, and like 20 years, I think. And yeah, so we were in there for a while trying to mess them up, and probably did a pretty good job. Iraq, obviously, when messed them up, 2003. Lebanon, 2006. Libya, 2011. Syria, 2011. Yemen, 2015. And it looks like we're going to attack Iran pretty soon. And we're going to bomb the shit out of them. I've seen some videos saying that. So, that's not good. And, yeah. Gonna bomb the hell out of them. And Yeah, and so the Jews have been very hostile and attacking for a while. So what the Muslim countries did is they're like, all right, we're gonna chill for a little bit. So Israel thought everything was becoming chill, everything was fine. And Hamas in Palestine, they kind of took over. I'm pretty sure they got in there through a vote, but the people definitely, well, there's definitely a portion of the people that support them, but they're not all the people, and they're definitely not well, they kind of are, but they're not like really the government, and they shouldn't represent all of Palestine. But Hamas is in there, they're running Palestine, and they're like leading the people down a very destructive path that a lot of the people don't want to be a part of. So it just sucks. And so they're funded by Iran, and so on October 7th, so they didn't do any attacks. The whole Middle Eastern was chill. Israel's starting to open up trade, let people move in and out freely. So everybody thought they were cool. Everybody was just like relaxing. Then on October 7th, uh, Hamas did like a very terrible attack where they killed 1,100 people, and they did, well, I don't know, it's worse than killing people, but they did a lot of other bad things, and that's not good. But that's Hamas. Their like mission is like part of their religion is eliminating Jews and other religions. So you can't really work with those people. Like how do you negotiate with these people? Like when their whole mission is to eliminate you, but they're also the much weaker force than Israel. Like they're just already completely decimated, and like the death count is, including October 7th to now, Israel has 1,700 deaths. So that's only 600, like that's still 600 people, but compared to Palestine's 70,000, that's like, oh, only 600 when you killed 70,000. So that's when people say it's a genocide, and kind of is. It's like they could probably completely defend themselves from Hamas and not have, like, they could 100% like defend themselves and not have to kill all these people, but they are. So I don't know what you're gonna do about it, but it just sucks. There's like no end in sight, and yeah, just sucks. I don't really know how else to feel about it. This video is gonna be a little bit shorter than the other ones, but if you want to watch the other ones, if you made it this far, I got 3 other videos so far. They're a little more random. Uh, all of them are super detailed. Take a bunch of notes. Probably could have took more for this video, but yeah, if you made this far, please maybe try out my other videos and drop a like. And yep, that's it.